Hey guys, it is Greg. I am here to do an update on the boring charts that nobody wants to hear about because frankly, they're boring. But here's the deal with these charts, guys, is that you want to have somebody in your arsenal, your toolkit, if you're not doing it yourself, that are keeping track of these charts because these charts that, excuse me, that I'm going to be going over are very important for the overall market conditions and where it could be going. So, for example, by the time that you hear that everything's a-okay in the mainstream media and the market looks like it's bullish again or something like that, you're probably going to be way too late. You could be even months behind before they even say that. So, like some smart institutional investors or smart money, they're looking beyond just say like Bitcoin. They want to invest in Bitcoin or something like that as an example, or they want to invest in some stock on, say, the Qs or maybe Dow Jones. They're looking at other things besides just that and digging into a little bit deeper. And then they know when to start accumulating because they're going to be in really, really early before you hear all about that news in the mainstream media. As a matter of fact, you know what they do? They're going to put out news where it's going to say, it's bearish, man, inflation, it's going to kick in like this hedge fund manager just recently did, because they want to drive the market down so they can get it cheaper. And then boom, they can go in there and accumulate some more and get ready for the next run up. That's why it's important, guys. So I'm going to go over the boring charts right here with the DXY and show you some things. There's some positive and there's some negative stuff going on. So one chart here on the DXY is, in my opinion, if you take a look at the DXY, you go out here to the 4-hour, you can see this is a fourth wave type move in there. So more, in my opinion, with the DXY, which this is a positive, it's going up into a 3, down for a 4, and then probably shooting up for a 5. So my target areas is the 106 and maybe as high as the 108, 107 area. And then with the DXY, which this will be bullish for risk on assets like Bitcoin and tech stocks, for example, it can go into a multi-month, if not multi-year correction. Now, I'm not saying it's inversely correlated. At times, doesn't necessarily mean that if the DXY goes down, everything like that are risk on Bitcoin and things go up. It does not mean that, but it just means there's less of a headwind for things like Bitcoin to be able to go up when this is going down, less of a headwind. Okay. Right now it has a serious headwind and it's become more like a tailwind when that goes down. So this is in a topping pattern. That's good. And it should go into a multi-year correction. Good. USDC chart. I'll go over that. USDC chart, it's in a topping pattern. I'm expecting that come down and then move up into a fifth wave correction. And then it'll have the length of it. The fifth wave will probably be about the length of this wave 1 because this third wave is extended and it'll go up. And then that probably will go into a multi-month correction. How big that will be, I don't know. So that's good. So this is starting to make a little bit sense. If if the DXY has another push up and this has another push up, probably that Bitcoin's going to be making that trek back down below 20K. The 10-year Treasuries. This is an indication of interest rates in the market. Okay, and with this one, it looks like to me it's going to be trending up a little bit more, in my opinion. You're going to have a move here, kind of like this, a little bit. It is a topping pattern, and just looking at the the third wave peak here, and it has some bearish divergence. If you can see, I'm going to bring it back out and you can look at the other time frames with the RSI. So you can see a fair amount of bearish divergence. So these will be trending back down, more than topping pattern at some point over the next 30 or 60 days, and it should be trending back down, come back down in this area. So in my opinion, this is a positive as long as it doesn't go crazy and take out the erase that divergence. If that happens, so let me erase some of that and clean it up a little bit, guys. So if that happens, this takes out that divergence and it's up pretty high on the RSI, then a third wave goes like this. It's an extended third wave, and that probably won't be good for Bitcoin. as an example. That could happen, guys. So you would pay attention to that. US oil, go over to US oil chart. This is going to be a big one. Fifth wave here, it did seem to complete it. And is it in a correction? The way I'm looking at it right now is that it's doing a ABC. That's all that I could get out of that, an impulse down of sort, and then up for that, and then swing down in an ABC. How long of a correction is this going to be for oil? That's a good question. Did it complete the sequence? Did it complete this sequence here? You got a significant amount of bearish divergence. It didn't break that high. So like Jim said, that follower of my channel, he thinks that's a failed fifth wave. If that is a failed fifth wave, this is pretty bearish for oil. You have to wait and see. This goes down. This is good. This is going to get rid of inflation. This is going to get rid of a lot of issues going on. So telling you that if this is turning around, in my opinion, this is telling you that inflation may have peaked. Okay. We're already in the peaking if it hasn't already peaked right here, guys. This is really good. Natural gas is another one. And there's some debate on this, depending on how you want to look at this. Some people think this is going to moonshot. I really don't know. I mean, looking at the 3-day chart, it's got a serious amount of bearish divergence, and I'm at a crossroads on this one. I'm starting to think that this is going to do a serious correction too. Don't know about that one yet, but you can see with the energy, that's what we need. That's what you want to see to start to go down, is the energy, the oil, the natural gas. You want to see those things to start to trend downward. That's going to be a very positive for the other stocks and Dow and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to be able to start finishing a correction and go back up. You want to pay attention to stuff. The VIX is another really, really boring chart, but this is a very important chart if you like to do trades. And you can see when it trends down, like here's March of 20, when Bitcoin made a significant drop and it started trending down. Okay. So right now the VIX is in a minor uptrend here. Okay. And it's getting a topping, like a topping pattern where it keeps coming up to hit that trend line. So there's a possibility it might spike up out of that, but there's a possibility, you know, we could see something in here. It might spike up, but then there's in this area, it could signify a trend change, whether more than likely to the downside. And that's what you want to see, just doing more of a trajectory to the down, a slight like that. And that will be a positive for risk assets, including cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. All right, guys. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to go over MicroStrategy too, because it's one that you can get like more clues about Bitcoin, since Michael Saylor here is heavily invested into Bitcoin. And I had a target on this MicroStrategy of $100 more or less, right around, yeah, right around $100. And I'm looking at this correction that that it needs to do, and there's some questions on it. I think that this is a major, you know, fake out that it's doing. So if you come out here, let me go to the weekly chart. So you see, here's a peak on a third wave. Okay, so you take that peak from right here and you come down. That's a third wave peak. That isn't it. And I look at the 4-day chart. Here it is again. You know, the dip was the third wave. Look at the 3-day chart. Go out to the 3-day chart. You see that third wave peak? So this is supposed to swing back around in a fifth. It never broke that low. It never broke that low. So some people probably think this is bullish. I don't think that it is. And here's what I think is going on with MicroStrategy. Right here, I think what it did is a massive 1, 2, 3. This would be the third wave. And it came up into a fourth. And it's doing some sort of funky wave. 1, 2. Let me go out to the daily. I'll show you. It's doing like a 1, 2, 3, and another massive fourth wave move to finally swing back down in that fifth wave. And then this whole sequence will eventually break that third wave right there. That can't be the bottom on MicroStrategy. It just doesn't make sense to me with this sequence that it's doing. And then it'll come down. Now get the overall picture to let you guys know what's going on with this MicroStrategy, because this will give you clues about what's going on with Bitcoin. And this is definitely a possibility with MicroStrategy of the move that it made. Now this right here is not a corrective move. This is an impulse. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It did a 5-wave sequence. And if you see here in this wave 1, 2, so you have a massive corrective, long corrective wave 2, right? So knowing Elliott waves, this correction is going to be opposite of this correction. It's called alternation. That's what you want to see. So a shallow and long drawn out wave 2. Now over here, you have a short and really super deep wave 4. So you could do that. Typically the wave 2s are like this. This is sort of like flip-flop. Normally it's over here and it's the other way around. The wave 4s are like this, but this is different. If that's the case, 1, 2, it's going up for a 3. Michael Saylor is probably correct in placing his bets with Bitcoin, because it's going to shoot back up at a minimum, more than likely beyond that 1500. And just trying to get an estimate on some targets. It's very hard to get targets on something like this, but normally what you do is you put a trend to 1 to the 3, and then you can get a target for your 5th. Where it will end could be $2,000, $3,000, and making a serious, massive move from 100 all the way up there for 2,700%. Just food for thought, guys. That is potentially a possibility. It all lines up to me. That's what I would be looking for, something like that. Now, with that said, what is that telling us about the next move with Bitcoin? Food for thought again, guys. If you made it all the way to the end of my video, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. Peace.